All right, ready to go.
Great. Good morning, valued EXP agents. My name is Megan Patterson. I'm the Chief People Officer here at MyOutdesk. We are so excited to be in the family of EXP Solutions. It's our privilege and honor today to talk to you, valued agents, straight from the microphone of MyOutdesk's founder and Chief Executive Officer, Daniel Ramsey. Daniel, thank you so much for having time with this EXP family today. We're so excited. And without further ado, the microphone is yours, please.
Hey, thank you, Megan, for that introduction. And EXP agents, I'm so excited to be here. Hello. In the comments, please put where you're at and also what you would like to get out of today's conversation. One of the things that's really cool about this partnership is I'm a real estate broker, just like you guys. I've been a real estate professional for over 20 years, and I love this industry, built the whole virtual assistant thing. And so today is all about your needs. Absolutely what you need to get out of today is what I want to see in the comments, where you're at and what you'd like to see today. We're going to go through a brief kind of summary of what MyOutdesk does for the real estate community. And then we're going to get to a point where we can do a little back and forth. So super excited to be here. And thank you again for spending your valuable time with us. First thing is, MyOutdesk is the workforce that works for you. And that's a really big deal. And the reason it's a big deal is because at some point you realized that I need help. You're in your world, you're hustling to get listings, you're trying to hire people, you're trying to add agents into your downline, and you realize that there just isn't enough time in your day, and you know you need some sort of help. And the reason is because there just isn't enough time. And you have a huge, big vision and you need to execute. And your number one job as a CEO of your own business, of your own life, of your own world is to recruit talent into your world. And it's a really big deal. And so here's what the interview process might look like if you're a real estate professional. This is the interview. This is happens after onboarding. And this is the reality once you have to fire them. And hiring is the hardest thing to do as a real estate agent. Some of the challenges that we have with hiring is you hire somebody, you teach them the business, and then they go out on their own and compete directly with you. You hire them, you spend a bunch of your valuable time with them, and they just simply don't work out. There's a lot of challenges with hiring, and MyOutdesk makes the process of hiring super easy and super simple. How do I know this? Because in 2007, I was just like you. I had a business that owned me versus owning that business. Here I am on my honeymoon in Guatemala at 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm at a Francis Ford Coppola resort, and you guys can probably relate to this, working weekends, evenings, vacations, all the time. I'm at this Francis Ford Coppola resort in Guatemala, and our resort was actually in the trees, which was crazy. Monkeys are swinging in the background. The bartender grabs my cell phone, takes it from me, and says, "You're a crazy white guy. What's wrong with you?" By the way, he's doing all this in Spanish. He's like, "Money is your God, beautiful bride back in the room. What is wrong with you?" The reality is, I was stressed, closing deals right here. I'm actually, signing a DocuSign, getting a transaction finished up, reading emails. And this was the moment that I had that epiphany. Like, I didn't want to have a business that owned me. I wanted to own a business. And this is the challenge of being in the real estate world. But what if, conversely, you had 2,500 people behind you, 2,500 people who helped you execute on your big vision? That's what we do here at MyOutdesk. I'm really excited about the opportunity to present to you our solution for agents in the AXP world. So first, and this is all of the things that we do to help agents grow their business. Number one, obviously, and this was my first hire in the real estate world, a transaction coordinator and a listing coordinator, because I really hate paperwork and I didn't want to do any more of it. And it was a very simple thing to bring somebody from another country in, pay them a great salary for their standard of living, and to get all of the paperwork off my plate. The next hire that we did is an inside salesperson. We had a whole bunch of leads coming in. And I know that's a big deal for real estate companies. Speed to lead is the number one thing that matters in conversion. And so we put people in place to answer the phones and actually call our leads on a regular basis. The next thing you got to do is brand, market. And so we have marketing professionals to help you make the properties look great, make your company look great, and actually help you put the message out there. Customer service. This is a crazy thing. Several years ago, I think 5-6 years ago, I'm in Sacramento, California, and it was one of those really hot summer days in California. Our AC went out, and so I started calling air conditioning companies and said, "I need help. I need to get our AC, serviced." I called 3 companies. Nobody answered the phone. So one of our value propositions as a real estate brokerage, we just always had somebody answering the phone. No matter what was going on in our world, we picked up the phone and we actually talk to our customers. It's a huge value proposition in the market. How many times have you called another agent in your market and it's gone to voicemail, or nobody's responded, or they don't bother to call you back, or they say, go look on an MLS? That's crazy town. A value proposition that you can easily achieve with our virtual professionals is just somebody to answer the phone. And then accounting is a big deal because you got to know your numbers. You got to know how many listings you're closing, what your commission is, what your split is, and just keeping track of your actual numbers is a really big deal. And it's a huge thing for agents to know how profitable they are. And so I can't tell you how many people in our industry don't actually monthly or every 2 weeks track their books. So it's a big deal. On the administrative and executive assistant side, think of them as your time gatekeeper. They can do email, calendar, transaction coordination, listing, and project management, which is a huge deal. There we go. Marketing and social media, your lead generator, online traffic master, and brand builder. Inside sales, your lead qualifier, pipeline engineer, relationship closer. This is the person that can help you recruit people into your business, into your world. And it's a really big deal for EXP agents. And then customer service, we already talked about that. How many people, when you call a company or a business or a real estate agent, get a voicemail? Eliminate that in your world. And then accounting, obviously somebody to just help you on the financial organization side and really know what's going on in your business. So this is our team that's waiting to help you. These are all the buckets you can hire. And I think it's a really valuable thing to sit down right now. Actually, if you're looking at this computer screen, watching from your car, on your cell phone, right now, the question I would like to have you answer in your head, and I'd love to see it in the comments. We already have a ton of comments coming in right now, but who do you need in order to actually double your real estate business? Like, who is the person that'll completely change your world? Who's the person that can help you win in your market, in your world, within EXP? That's the question I'd like you to answer right now, because this is your opportunity right here in front of you today. Because you have a big vision, and we here at MyOutdesk, we have skilled talent on demand. And I want to be clear about what on demand means. On demand means if you give us a job description in that category, and if you tell us exactly what you need in that category, we'll actually 1, 2, 3. Day 1, you do a consultation with us. Day 2, we're actually out in the marketplace hunting for people to bring you into our world. And on day 3, you're interviewing and selecting the person that can completely change your world. So it's a really big deal. In 3 days, we'll get you talent right now. But the question is, and I know you're thinking this right now, is, does this really work? One thing about MyOutdesk, I told you in the beginning, I'm a real estate broker, professional. I love this industry. Every night I'm looking at what comes on the MLS, what comes on CoStar. Like, I just love what we do. And I'm also the first client. So in the beginning, in 2007, I'm back in my honeymoon, and I'm thinking about, okay, how do I transition from, having my business own me? How do I make this work? How do I get the leverage that I needed to grow and scale? And this is a really big deal. So I decided to hire my first virtual assistant, and I put him in charge. Like I said, I put him in charge of transaction and listing coordination. Jocelyn was our VA. She worked for me in Sacramento. And this is a letter that another agent sent to our office in Sacramento because they thought that Jocelyn was right there in the office with me. And it was a really hard deal. You can see on the screen 1709 Lee Court. So we got a thank you card, which is fantastic. And this process just really works. We're also rated the number one virtual assistant company for 5 years in a row. I didn't buy this. This is just the case. There's a lot of companies out there, lots of competition in the market, but we are the original and also the highest rated one, which is fantastic for you, our customers. The other thing that's important is the true cost of having a bad hire. We eliminate this for you. According to a survey, 41% of companies say when they made a bad hire, it cost them at least $25,000. 25% of that survey said it cost them almost $50,000, which is just a crazy dollar amount. We eliminate all of that risk for you because you're going to come in, you're going to hire and select, and if there is a challenge, we'll work with you to correct it or swap that person out, and it costs you nothing. And that's a really huge deal when you're thinking about hiring. All right. Turnover is the enemy of scale. And we talked about this. And what does that mean exactly? As you're growing a brokerage, you hire somebody, you train them, you bring them into your world, and all of the sudden, they leave you for another opportunity. That will stop you from being able to hire and build a business and grow agents into your world. And so losing somebody that you didn't want to lose is the enemy of growing and scaling your business. And it's a really big deal. Our virtual professionals here at MyOutdesk actually have an average tenure of 5 years plus, which is insane for growth. And it's insane for your business as you grow it. Again, you have a really big vision, and we have a really big EXP offer. And in just a second, we're going to answer some of the questions and comments here. But before we do, I want to make sure that we get into those offers. Okay, this is a offer number one. Here we go. We're going to whack $500 off your first invoice when you come through the EXP Solutions offering. So what that means, in the comments right now, we're dropping the link for you to get a free consultation. Now, here's what's important. This is a risk-free offer, meaning we're not charging you a fee. We're not asking you to pay right now. We're actually offering you a discovery call. So you're going to sit down with somebody on our team, and you're going to go through exactly what your needs are, exactly what the opportunity looks like. We're going to basically craft together the perfect job description for your position, for the thing that you want to hire. We're going to go through all the technology that you need, all the tools that you want to have. We're going to make sure you have a 90-day onboarding process. Plus, we're going to show you like some really good shortcuts to onboarding this virtual professional into your world so that you can absolutely win when hiring a virtual professional through MyOutdesk. Really, really important. Our people are across the globe, so we have a huge pool in the Philippines. That's our primary country of operations, but we've also opened Africa, and we're about to open Latin America. So I'm really excited to have access to a global talent pool at a third of the cost of hiring local. So everybody's wondering like, hey, how much is this a month? What does this cost? We have a total all in, it's $2,300 a month. So it's $2,300 all in a month for you to have a full-time assistant working in your company right here and right now. And we're going to waive $500 off your first invoice, which is a huge deal. That link, again, we're going to throw it up here so that you can jump there and get your free discovery call. There's absolutely no commitment by jumping on here and doing a discovery call. In fact, we're going to give you all of our best practices because we've been in business nearly 20 years and helped tens of thousands of real estate professionals just like you hire virtual assistants. We're going to give you all of our content, all of the ways we do it completely free so you can absolutely take advantage of this, and it costs you nothing. The other really cool thing is I've written a book about how exactly to be successful with virtual professionals. So in that book is everything: how to hire, how to vet, how to train, how to get them through the first 90 days, what kind of conversations you have to have, what kind of technology is required, also the story about how this business was built and grown. And this is the space. This is a completely free. We're going to throw that again on the screen for you guys so you can jump on it. But the book is free, the consultation is free, and we're taking $500 off. So there's lots of value here. Guys, I want your questions. I'm sure there's been some that I've answered, and there's some maybe in your head that you're thinking about, well, what about this? And what about that? So I want to make sure that we're really clear in answering any questions while we're together today. The next thing, and I'll end with this, and then we'll jump to the questions. And this is a really big deal. What would it be like if you had an entire army of talent helping you grow your business? That's the question that I have for you. What would it be like if talent stopped being a barrier for you having everything in life that you want? That's the opportunity to work with MyOutdesk. You need talent. We will deliver that talent in 1, 2, 3 days. It's a really big deal. Okay, so we're jumping on. We're done with the presentation. I really appreciate you guys being here. Deanna Faye had a question. Let me see. How long between filling out the discovery call request and getting somebody on someone's calendar? Wow. We've tried this link multiple times with no response. Deanna, this is crazy. I can't believe it. We will reach out to you directly. I cannot believe that that is a challenge for you. We will solve that. So I apologize. I'm not sure what's happening there. Maybe we're getting the wrong number, or maybe our people, have some mistake. But we'll jump in and we'll definitely reach out to you today. I promise you that. Okay, who else has a great question? Let's see. I'm looking through. Okay. Love what you're saying. I have several agents in my team interested. All right. Deanna, thank you so much. Is this for US only? Nope. We've got people in Canada. We've got some French-speaking folks too. So we can do both the West Coast and East Coast, which is super cool. Jeremy says, I need an ISA. I love that. Okay, Julia says, will they be considered a 1099 staff for us? Yes, 100%. Think of us like a staffing company that just happens to be in the Philippines, in Africa, in Latin America. We will take care of their vacation time, their benefits, their payroll. We have technology that we kind of lap on to them too. So not only will they have access to AI, but they'll have a time tracking software. We have a full-time dedicated customer service person who reaches into your world and helps you onboard and kind of make sure that everything is set up. Because it's one thing to go through a consultation and make a plan. It's another thing to execute that plan and have a partner as you kind of navigate the challenges of the first 30, 60, 90, 6 months, 1 year. We have one customer service person that is your kind of like your arms into our organization to extract value so that you can win with our virtual professionals. So really big deal. Julia, thanks for the question. But we will go. Okay, Jeremy, are the VAs specific to one role, or can they split focuses between ISA and admin? This is the biggest question that we get from our customers all the time. And I get that because when I first hired, I wasn't like quite sure whether the virtual professionals were going to be successful. Like go back to 2007, I was like, hey, let's just try this. Let's just see what happens. To answer your question directly though, pick one that is the most important thing. If it's an ISA and it's about revenue and recruiting agents and getting listings and helping buyers, then I would focus on that one and get them really successful in that one area over the first 90 days. And then as they nail that ISA world, meaning they start helping you make connections and bringing revenue into the business and helping you recruit agents, After they've nailed that, then I would add any admin that you might have. The other challenge, and I want to be specific, and we all know people like that. As entrepreneurs, as CEOs, we're like I don't know if you guys have ever been to an NBA basketball game. You sit down, you're courtside, and you're watching these guys play basketball, and they're huge. That's what it is to be a real estate broker or an agent or a team leader or an entrepreneur. You're huge. Our admins, what you want to know is like, they're not going to be like you. They're not going to be able to do ISA work. They're not going to be able to do admin work. You're not going to give them a marketing thing. They're not going to also just figure something out on their own. So you want to put them into a system or a process. So whether it's Dot Loop or some other system, SkySlope, which, founded here in Sacramento, whatever administrative system that you have, you want to put them into that system and then properly train them. And we all know people who are talkers like me. I like to talk, and people who are detail oriented. So what you want to do is make sure that you're hiring somebody for the one thing that you want. If you want an ISA, that's a talker. If you want an admin, that's a detail oriented person. So it's unusual to have them kind of be the same kind and style of person. Those people are called entrepreneurs. So I just want to be sure. Pick the one thing that really matters, hire for that, and then train them and teach them how to do the other stuff, but know that it's not going to be in their strength zone. Great question, Jeremy. Do you accept payments with credit cards? Yes. Unfortunately, we do. I say unfortunately because credit card companies takes like 2 to 3% every time we do a credit card. So we pass that cost on to you. But yeah, absolutely. In fact, when you go in and do your kind of consultation, request for consultation, there's and you have a consultation, the next step will be signing our agreement and actually inputting your credit card information. Yeah, we take credit cards, and you'll be really happy with that process. It's all automated. It's all easy. We have a one month subscription fee. It's very simple. Every 2 weeks, we charge your credit card, and it's a really easy process for our real estate professionals. Okay, Deanna, back at it. For agents that are new to this concept, do you help them, guide them with job descriptions, list of duties during the discovery call? We're going to do that work with you. In fact, that's why the discovery call is so valuable, and we don't charge anything for it. So in the discovery call, what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, like, what's your revenue? How many team members do you have? What are your biggest challenges inside your business? How could we double your business within 12 to 18 months? What would have to happen? And we'll go through a process. Okay, what's your systems? What's the technology stack that you're currently using? And then what would have to happen for you to double your business? And this is a really, Deanna, your question is fantastic. This is a really important lesson that I learned in my journey. See, I thought I could do everything. And one day I'd be doing the paperwork, the next day I'd be doing the marketing, the next day I'd do sales. We'd get really busy, and then I couldn't do the sales or I couldn't do the marketing. And so what I realized as I was growing and scaling a really successful real estate company was that I needed specialists. I needed somebody who could focus on the admin stuff and the paperwork and all the transaction coordination and listing coordination, because it was inside of a process, and I was more valuable on an hourly basis recruiting agents and getting listings. And so that's what we're going to have you do is we're going to think, okay, here are all the things that you're currently doing. How do we get rid of everything that's not the highest value? Getting rid of the things that getting rid of the things that anybody can do, and holding on to the things that only you can do as the owner, as the agent, as the real estate professional. There's this concept of measuring how valuable is your time, and then what should you be doing and what shouldn't you be doing. And the question is hey, paperwork's worth about $11-12 an hour. We can do that work for you. So yeah, we'll go through that whole process with you. And I think you're going to be really pleased with the end. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Marissa, okay, how much training do we need to do for a TC role? And are they trained in state-specific documents? That's such a great question. I'm in California. All of our training for a transaction coordinator and a listing coordinator is based on that California MLS and California documents. Now, that's a good and bad thing. Our people are going to see how it works and what it is, but you'll need to kind of get them up to speed in your local market, because there are, this number is crazy, there are 576 different MLSs in the country, and 51 different states. So there are 51 different rules and laws about what a licensed person can do versus can't do. So all of that complexity we just don't have access to, and we just don't have. What I would say though, and this is a really big deal, you don't have to do the training yourself. You can buy, borrow, or build. So transaction coordination in your state, and I'm not sure, Marissa, where you are, but no matter where you are in the world, you can buy transaction coordination training for a person. It'll cost you $500 to $2,000. $2,000 is the highest costing transaction coordination kind of training there is. And you can have your virtual professional go through that training. After the training, you can actually sit down with them and say, okay, this is how we do it in this office. Because while there's MLS differences over 551 different states, there's also the complexity of EXP versus all the other real estate firms out there. So we don't have specific training per se for your state, your company, your EXP world. We have people who are process based and will excel at that world, but they'll need your time and love to get them up to speed. And that's the truth with the accounting role, and really any leverage that you ever have, whether they're a C-level person who is really expensive, 3, 4, 500,000, or one of our virtual professionals, which is 23, 24,000 a year all in. You've got to give them how you want to do business. And this is a lesson that I learned the hard way. I'd hire somebody and then, hope they would figure it out. And it never works out there that way. Another really, Marissa, this is such a wonderful and beautiful question. Another thing, if you're listening and you want like a tip or a trick, I like play, pause, do, where I'll actually do a video doing the work with the virtual professional. And then I talk about the how, what, and why in that work. And to give them the context, I'll do 2 or 3 of those videos. We'll put them on a Loom, and then either Monday or Asana, there's some transaction coordination software, maybe like SkySlope or DocuSign or Dotloop. And then in that video, I'm explaining how to use it and what the tasks are and what to do. You do 2 or 3 of those videos, then you have an automated way to train for your world for the rest of your career. Because it's just, when you do it like that, you only have to do it one time, and you can hire somebody new whenever you want. So it's a really big deal. It looks like, Tim, we answered your question too, which I'm really glad about that. Scott, okay, I've had a VA in the past, but I lost her. My big challenge was to have enough tasks to keep them busy. Do you have a list of sample task roles that they can perform? Yeah, we have a ton of blog material. And actually, if you guys can check out our website, if you go to MyOutdesk.com, not only do we have blogs, but you can subscribe to our YouTube and all of our LinkedIn. We put out a ton of content about how to be successful with virtual professionals, and also the things that they can help you to do. But Scott, what I would do is I would start thinking outside of the box. And there's 2 things here. Again, you can buy, borrow, or build. And we also have Dr. Google, Professor YouTube, and now we have the AI gods helping us do and execute everything in our world. So I'll give you an example. Early on, my wife and I, it was our anniversary, and we were going to have some friends. And so I had my virtual professional just call, hey, I want a limo. I want to go to this restaurant, and I want to go to this comedy show. There are an insane amount of opportunities for you to have leverage in your life. You just have to find them. And and then write them down, make sure that there's proper training between you and the virtual professional, and then put them into a system where you can delegate that task for the rest of your life. Things like accounting. Accounting is one of those things that I think is just such a missed opportunity for most professionals, real estate professionals for sure. But calendar, email, there's just so many opportunities out there, Scott. Great question, though. Book a discovery call, and then we'll help you explore all the things that you might be able to get off your plate with. And I think I want to make sure that we nail this, because this is the whole point of scaling a business. And you can kind of see we've got scale with virtual professionals here in the background. So when you put it into a system and a process, you define it, you get training on top of it, you create some videos like we talked about. It's inside of a tech platform like Skyslope.loop, Asana, Monday, whatever the platform is. And then you train somebody else to take it over. What you're doing, and this is the definition of scale, you're buying your time back for the rest of your life. Meaning you're never ever going to have to do that task again, because you have it in a system and a process, and it can be delegated. Now, some people want to do that to go sit on the beach, and I understand that world. I get that wholeheartedly. But if you want scale in your world, and let's say you delegate something out to somebody and it takes you an hour a day, you've just bought back an hour of your day for the rest of your career. Now, if you can focus on generating revenue, if you can focus on finding new clients, if you can focus on recruiting agents, if you can focus, another place, maybe you could focus on your health, because, when it's gone, it's gone. And time is the same. It's time and your health are the only two things in this world that once it's gone, it's just gone. But these little tasks, you can give them away. So if you then take that hour that you gave away and you focus on the most important things, the things that only you can do, like converting clients, like bringing agents into your world, like growing as an individual, learning and figuring out how to drive revenue in your business, well, that's the definition of scale, because over time you'll give more and more away and you'll grow in your career. And that's what I want for you guys. Guys, we're at time. I'm gonna give 5-6 more questions. Julia, the cost $2,300. Yes, $2,300 a month. Think of it this like any other subscription fee. We have 6 months, 1 year, and 2-year contracts. Our value proposition, you saw that we talked about this. Our average time for a customer to have a virtual professional is 5 years. The way we get the best talent out in the global world is we promise them long-term customer relationships. They want to work with the best real estate professionals. They want to have a really rich and amazing job. They want the benefits that we provide and the schedule that we provide. They want a company they can trust. And what we do is we find talent inside EXP that needs help. Then we go globally to our talent source and we find the best world-class talent. We literally search hundreds of thousands of applicants every single year to make a small amount of matches. It's less than 1%. So we find talent in the US, we find talent globally, we match them with customers so that you guys can have the life that you deserve and the world that they must, a world that is just really rich. So it's a really big deal. It's $2,300 a month in total. That's all in. So healthcare, vacation, benefits, all the cost. Do you have to go all in? I want you to go all in. Like, I can't help myself, but when you do this right, what happens is your world completely shifts. You go from being an agent or a team leader to being a business owner. And so, yes, I do want you to go all in. And that's why we offer a consultation and guides and a discovery call where we can make sure that this is a right fit. We'll work with you one-on-one to design a risk lower. Like, I don't want to say risk-free, because I love to say our product is people, and people sometimes are messy and there are challenges in your world and in our world. but what we want to be is a good partner to you. And so we'll go through a process where we'll make sure to the highest confidence level that this is going to make sense for you and your business and for the virtual professional. Okay. Let's see what else. Oh, okay. This is interesting. Megan is saying there's a EXP Solutions special gift. I really love that. Okay, what other questions do we have here in this? Maybe we've nailed it. Maybe we've got everybody rocking and rolling. Okay, we're going to throw the link where you can get that free discovery call again in the notes. I'd encourage you guys all to take advantage of that. And we will be helping you set up a plan so that you can grow and scale your business and win inside MyOutdesk. And I want to just thank you guys for your time and everything that we've shared today. Appreciate you guys.